Hello, Houston Texans fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming. Before we start, we'd like to take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the news about our Houston Texans. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to those who are most passionate about the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Houston Texans set to re-sign key free agent for 2025. With the NFL offseason in full swing, the Houston Texans face a series of crucial decisions. The franchise must carefully evaluate its roster, decide which players to keep, and seek strategic reinforcements to strengthen the team for next season. Among those decisions, one of the most important involves a player who is about to become a free agent, Stefon Diggs. Diggs' trajectory with the Texans and the uncertainty of the injury, acquired in a high-impact trade with the Buffalo Bills last offseason, Diggs arrived in Houston with the expectation of being the star wide receiver that C.J. Stroud needed. However, his time with the team was cut short due to a serious injury. The veteran wideout suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament, ACL, after just 8 games, leaving questions about how much of an impact he could have had over the course of a full season. Despite this, the numbers show that he was on track to be one of Stroud's main targets. 47 receptions for 196 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, at 31 years old, the natural concern is how he will return after such a serious injury and if he will still be able to perform at a high level. Why should the Texans re-sign Stefon Diggs? Despite the uncertainty, the Texans need to seriously consider re-signing Diggs. During the playoffs, it was clear that Stroud needs more support in the receiving corps. Even with Nico Collins establishing himself as a consistent threat, an experienced WR like Diggs could be exactly what is needed to elevate the offense. Another important factor is that Tank Dell, one of the team's promising players, also suffered a serious injury and his recovery is still unknown. Betting on Diggs leaving without having a high-level replacement guaranteed would be a huge risk for the growth of the Texans' offense. Additionally, Diggs is unlikely to demand an exorbitant contract. Projections indicate he could sign a 1-year, $14 million deal, a reasonable amount for a receiver of his caliber. If that is indeed what Diggs is asking for, the Houston Texans should not hesitate to bring him back. Securing a solid group of targets for Stroud should be a top priority if the team wants to continue to improve and compete for the playoffs. Houston Texans should explore blockbuster trade with Packers. The NFL offseason is almost here, and the Houston Texans are going to be a very interesting team to keep an eye on. Nick Caserio and the rest of the front office need to make a move or two to give the team a chance to be a serious contender in 2025. While most of the speculation and rumors have to do with the offensive side of football, the Texans are a defense-first team. They could use another cornerback opposite Derek Stingley Jr., and there is one name that would be a perfect fit. Jaire Alexander could potentially be on his way out of the Green Bay Packers. He has struggled to stay healthy over the past 2 years, but when he is on the field at full health, he is still one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Granted, the Packers could opt to keep him, or they could be convinced to trade him and save some money while they look to retool for a chance at a Super Bowl run. Houston should explore the idea of trading Alexander this offseason. A duo of Alexander and Stingley would be arguably the best in the NFL. Betting on Alexander to stay healthy would be a big gamble, but it could pay off in a big way. During the 2024 season, Alexander played in just 7 games. He racked up 16 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 1 defensive touchdown, and 7 passes defended. He's only 27 years old, which gives you hope that he can turn things around and get back on track. Putting up those numbers in just 7 games shows just how good Alexander can be. Had he stayed healthy, there would be no discussion of a potential trade. However, Green Bay may simply be tired of waiting and hoping that he stays on the field. This could be another example of taking a risk that pays off in a big way. Alexander is more than talented enough to completely change the outlook of a defense. At this point, there's no guarantee that Alexander will be available this offseason. But if the Packers are open to the idea of trading him, the Texans should take a hard look at trying to acquire him. Alexander would be a big step toward contending. Houston still has work to do offensively, but that's the kind of win-now move the Texans need to focus on making.